Well, now it's funny because I always have things to say and then I completely forget. Here we are. So I finally did a space picture. I've been wanting to do something space related for a while because, you know, that just sounds like fun. I was thinking of doing it with charcoal on the white paper, but then I was like, so I got some white PanPastel and didn't use it for about 3 weeks. Why not start today, you know? I was gonna do another portrait, which I'll probably do tomorrow. I mean, I guess the reason I've been delaying the space pictures is because I just don't have big paper. I have a small sketch pad of black paper that I've had for a while, and I've used the paper before, but I haven't used the pastel on it before. So today was the first time that I've ever used PanPastel. I mean, I have a... Oh, I forgot. I have a stick. Can't believe I forgot about the stick. Oh well. It was fun. It did not take 4 hours this time. It took about 50 minutes. I picked this particular reference, or I guess it's called... What's it called? Hold on. The Southern Ring Nebula. I picked the Southern Ring Nebula because when the James Webb Telescope launched, it was really exciting. When we finally got the pictures back, that was even more exciting. The Southern Ring Nebula was the one picture from that first drop. What's it called? And all of them are really cool. This was the one picture that I saw from that drop that made me actually go like, ooh. I was thinking of doing another one. So I was choosing between two. The Southern Ring Nebula and this other one. I decided not to do this other one because my paper is too small. When I'm doing this one, I want to do it on a big piece of paper.
I don't want it to be dinky.
For the first space picture that I've done, I think it's okay. I like it. And this is gonna be a short video. I have a lot of ideas, but I thought it would be cool. Oddly enough, and I don't know why, but I've never actually done a portrait of a human being with white pastel or white charcoal pencil on black paper. I've done a dog, I've done a rose, but I've never done a human face. I was already thinking of drawing space pictures, but I was thinking of drawing it with charcoal on white paper, which would be a little bit challenging, not impossible, just a little tough. I wanted today to be just like a practice run because not only have I never drawn pictures of space, I've never used white pastel before. So how does it work? Is it like makeup? I've only used white pencil. I've never even touched the pastel. I bought some PanPastel about 3 weeks ago and I never touched it because I was too scared. But I thought today, you know, I was struggling again to find a reference. Why not make today the day to start drawing space pictures? The Ring Nebula is nice and isolated, and it's just one little spot that I could just throw on a little one and it would be a good practice run. Not a lot of stuff going on. I could get the shape and, you know, try it out. And also, the Southern Ring Nebula is one of my favorite things because I really like space. Well, from afar. I don't know if I would ever want to go there. Okay, the trial and error was a little bit funny. The beginning bit was fine. I went with the just go with the flow. It was really nerve-wracking with this because it's white on black, and for some reason the white on black is a lot scarier. It feels a lot more like pen. This is very strange. But for some reason I was really scared to do it. I didn't know how it was gonna look at first. It was a lot smoother than I thought it was gonna be. In feeling it out, I had to actually, you know, really quickly figure out how it works. I wanted some more like rough edges, and I tried to get it with the pencil, but I think it turned out okay. That's why I forgot. I don't even know how the I don't know how the stick of it works. I was gonna use the stick, and maybe that might have created more rough edges. But at the same time, the paper itself is smooth, so I don't know, probably wouldn't have the same texture as the charcoal on the paper that I have. So after I kind of gathered a little bit of it up onto the tool, it had that like powder on the surface, and I was like, okay, I wanted to see how it would act if I blew it onto the paper. What if I did this? Ooh. And if I could get like some sort of atmosphere going. It was a little less like than I was expecting it to be. However, it did show me that I could do like just random stars doing that. It was interesting to look at the picture and to notice it kind of has a ripple effect, and so I had to try to get the ripple effect. I probably could have gotten away with a little less pastel on certain parts. For example, after I was done with the nebula itself, I went to do the stars, and there is one really bright star smack in the middle of the nebula. I tried to get that with a pencil. It looked a little bit overworked, but it wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be. I'm gonna get bigger paper. I'm also gonna try to draw some portraits of human beings onto the black paper. I have some ideas. And I have a really cool idea as far as portraits go. I'm kind of excited for that. It is kind of funny doing this picture right after the picture of Mark from In Space. Anyway, it's freezing and I had to turn the heater off for this, so I'm gonna go. Maybe I'll draw the portrait that I was thinking of tomorrow. It'll be really cool. Anyway, total time was about 45 minutes, I think. So that's pretty fast. But I credit it all to the size of the paper. If it was any bigger, it would probably be more like 2 or 3 hours. But I gotta say, that realization I had in the last drawing that I did, I realized I wasn't feeling it out enough. Sufficient way to put it. Really helped cut down a lot of time. Like I said, it's all a matter of practice. I'll get it eventually. And I'll get to the point that I want to get to eventually. I don't think I missed anything. Alright. Goodbye. I totally forgot to say the biggest blunder that I made in this drawing. The thing that I did with blowing the pastel onto the paper to make like little random stars. When I actually put that into practice, I accidentally blew way too much of it onto the top left corner of the paper. That was scary. I had to recover from that pretty quickly. You can still see a few smears. That's okay. It also got all over my computer. And now my computer is gonna have white smudges on it forever. Anyway. Goodbye. Oh. There we go.